The early stages of pregnancy with Owen seemed really positive. Everything was going really well. His heartbeat was perfect, my blood pressure was perfect. When things started to go wrong, that was at the 28-week mark. I had a bit of a cold and I went and saw my GP for just a normal appointment, and she took my blood pressure and my urine, and she looked at my blood pressure and she was like, "Oh, that's a bit high. We'll take that again in a few minutes." And she took it again and it was still high. And then she was on the phone to Wollongong Hospital, and things got pretty serious pretty quickly. And the doctors started talking about, we might need to deliver your baby in the next 24 hours. And it became very clear from Wollongong Hospital that they couldn't handle a baby at 28 weeks and that I would need to be transferred as soon as they could stabilise my blood pressure. In terms of being in that acute care situation, that happened completely unexpectedly, and that just meant that all of a sudden I was in Randwick. I was planning to work right up until my delivery date, which was March 2020, and then here I was in mid-December in hospital. So it completely uprooted my life, especially professionally, with zero notice.
Well, when Sean was admitted, it was so uncertain as to the duration of the visit with all the potential outcomes that it was difficult to know what to arrange from an accommodation point of view. I sought some accommodation across the road from the Royal at the Randwick Lodge. It was something that I booked for a few days to start with, and then when we got a little bit more knowledge of what time frame we were looking at, booked for an extended period of time.
Owen was born at 29 weeks and 3 days, and he weighed 925 grams when he was born. He was in the intensive care part of the nursery. What that physically looked like is that he was in an incubator and he had a mask on his face, he had oxygen support, and he had an IV that went through his foot. And that was pretty tough to see. It was very hard to see somebody that you love so much who looks like they're
vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable and in pain. And even though it's not rational, I think as the mum and as the person who's had the pregnancy, you feel like it's your fault. I actually saw a mum recently in the nursery at Wollongong, and she was standing next to her child and she was crying and she was saying that she was sorry. Yeah, and that's something that I think most mums that have been on this journey, and it's certainly something I did, it's something that I think probably most mums have done in the NICU at some point. Owen was in the newborn intensive care unit here for 5 weeks, and then we were at a point where we could transfer him back to the nursery at Wollongong Hospital.
For any regional family in the situation we've just experienced, the logistics of managing your life in the short, medium and longer term is a quite immense challenge. So any assistance with that would be greatly received, I think, and especially when you just want to focus on your partner and your unborn child and hope that your life can otherwise operate as smoothly as possible in that unforeseen circumstance.